Okay. Welcome to Oceania Racing League, round number 3 at Baku here for Division 2. We have a nearly full grid here today, and I'm joined by Chonkarel in the comms box. Do you want to say hi,
Yeah, it
Chonk?
looks like it's going to be a cloudy even afternoon here on the streets of Baku.
Yeah, it should wind up being an interesting one. Obviously, it's caused some thriller races in the past in other leagues that I know of, and also, I don't know if we've had a Baku race in ORL before. My memory is a bit foggy, but I'm sure if we have had one, it has been a very exciting one because it's just what Baku causes. We already PS Bomber we see in the wall on the exit of turn 2. And there's now a McLaren stranded there, and the drivers will make sure not to follow in his footsteps. So let's see, who do we have out? Let's get all the track map and lap data up. Looks like, yeah, the Aston Martin of Milan is the furthest on track, so we'll just look at him as he is on his outlap and about to begin navigating into Sector 2 and soon enough, obviously. Tricky track Baku, easy to lock up, there's walls absolutely everywhere, it's just a high-speed Monaco, some would say. How do you like this track, Chunk?
Yeah, I quite like it for racing. I think it provides some very good competition, obviously with those two long DRS straights down to turn 1 and down to turn 3. So plenty of overtaking zones there, and you have to be very skillful to not crash it through the castle section and other such places. So it's very challenging to defend from that point of view, and provides a lot of crashes normally, a lot of safety cars. So the strategy is key to winning the race.
Yeah, definitely. But now, as we see Milan about to start his lap down the biggest straight, I think, in the F1 calendar, as he's going to wind up now to open the DRS and begin his lap. His battery's already burnt out at 50%, so I think he might have accidentally left it on his outlap. But now into turn 1, braking quite late there at 100 meters. You just want to nail the apex, not hit that inside wall, and then, oh, he just taps the outside wall there, but it doesn't quite spin around. It would have been not quite ideal for him, though, as he runs wide and understeers nearly into the wall. So he gets a pretty bad exit off it too, but he opens up the DRS and he'll continue on his lap. He hasn't bailed out of it as he just wants to set a bank up. It's now braking at 100 meters, down to second gear, nearly grazing the wall there, but that's what you got to do at Baku. You've got to be absolutely 100% committed if you want to get a good lap time around here, because if you're not, you're just going to be afraid and you're not going to use the potential of the track. As now through this tricky left-right, very easy to just tap that curb and it sends you into the wall, but he's just tapped it enough to the point where it gains him enough lap time but doesn't send him into the wall. It's now down through this right-hander into the trickiest part of the racetrack now, the castle section. Will it see its first victim? No, he gets so close to the wall and doesn't do a Charles Leclerc, and he's just on the limit over the course of this lap now, and he's using every piece of the track that he's given to his disposal to get the best lap time possible, flat out through this left-hander, flat out through this next left king, and now hard on the brakes. Don't understeer out into this wall. There's a bit of undulation on that apex. Likes to understeer the car, as we've just seen as he's tapped the wall. But now he's just got a near flat-out run to the finish line, as he's now just foot flat to the floor through this slalom-esque section, and he should have a pretty decent lap on his hands. So as he goes under the Fly Emirates banner, he will get closer and closer to the DRS. As he's going to open it now, and what's it going to be to the line? I don't think it's going to be a super impressive lap time, but it's still a banker and it's better than nothing. He does a 1 minute 42.6. Who will be the next to beat it?
Well, Vipermon's currently on a lap, the championship leader, coming to the end of Sector 2, just past the castle section, coming up on some traffic there. Looks to be that boy Kono got him a bit caught up, one of the Alphas. And he's past the final braking zone there, so foot flat to the floor from here.
As
He's coming up on the DRS. What sort of lap time is it going to be for the championship leader? It's going to be only good enough for the second row. Third place at the moment for him with a purple sector 3. He'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah, so not an ideal lap for him, but I'll go on board with Melbourne Mac here, and I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. So he's coming to the end of his out lap there. Looked to get a tiny bit of oversteer, but corrected it. And obviously want a really good exit out of that final braking zone, so he can get a really good run with this DRS down to turn 1. And he's come across the line to start the lap, braking hard into turn 1. Didn't look like he used all of the track there, could have gotten a bit more out of it. But that's a almost perfect second corner, and coming up on another Alpha in traffic, almost hits him. Just kind of swerving around was Melbourne Mac on the straight. And he's now past that second source of DRS for the lap. And it's the end of Sector 1 now. He's going through Turn 5. It's a purple Sector 1 for Melbourne Mac. And a very nice chicane indeed. On a small straight now, and he's coming up to the castle section. This is going to make or break his lap. And he almost hits the edge, getting very close on every single award. And he's gone a bit wide. Lucky not to get his lap time deleted for that. But he's managed to get through the castle section very well. He's coming up to the final couple of braking zones for the lap. Into turn 16 he is going now. And right on the exit is a purple sector 2. Very promising lap so far. And he's going pedal to the metal to the line. Just turn 20 to go now, and he's onto the straight. Got DRS enabled. What sort of lap time can it be? And it's pole position by 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, so very impressive there, as I'll go to Rapid Mickey in the Mercedes, previous championship winner for Division 2 last season, and he's about to wind up and start his lap. We'll go off board and just watch that Mercedes dance around the racetrack. So, as this is a pretty crucial corner here, as it gives you your exit down one of the longest straights on the F1 calendar, and you apply the battery roundabout now, and it'll get his lap underway, as he now is just all the way flat out until he brakes for turn 1. It's a massively long straight, and now his DRS is going to open now, and now he just has to use all of the track for the rest of the lap and just survive it. As through turn 1, he looks to get a pretty good apex there and just uses all the track on the exit, using that little curve. You don't want to hit that outside barrier. As through turn 2, oh, it looks like he grazed the barrier there, but the offboard didn't really give me a great look at it, as he's now flying down the second straight, which is another fairly long straight, as he's going to brake at 100 meters and just slow the car down to the point where he can use all of the track. Just, you want to nearly graze that inside barrier and then graze the outside barrier. And then as he goes back to the right, that corner is very easy to lock up and run wide, as this corner is just a snaily long corner. Quite frustrating if you get it wrong, and it feels very nice if you get it right, and he negotiates it well. He went purple in sector 1, so hopefully he can complete this lap as he cuts a lot of the inside there. That's what you can do on the F1 game, is through the castle section, really lock up. No, he uses all of the track possible and gets a very smooth run through. On the exit, he doesn't use all the track possible, but I think he just wants to keep his lap valid, because he thinks that this could be provisional pole, probably, and I think it might be. As he went purple to sector 1, it looked like a very clean sector 2, and he's going to enter sector 3 in just a short moment. So, rounding the final proper braking corner, and then he's just got the flat-out slaloms. He's gone purple in sector 2 as well. So, this could be provisional pole chunk.
Well, it's looking very promising. But behind him, Mr. Sparks, who's also on a good lap. I believe Mr. Sparks just went purple in sector 2. So it's going to be very close between these two for a challenge up the top. And Mickey's going fastest. Here comes Mr. Sparks. He slots it in right behind him. But 0.6 is a huge difference between first and second.
Yeah,
in this
great lap
qualifying session.
from Rapid Mickey. I think we'll see more of that to come through all the drivers. I think Vipermon definitely will be picking himself up to do a little bit better than that in the Williams. Obviously, one round one and one round two, so he'll be looking to go for the triple wins. But Mickey might even break the 40s barrier, but I think anybody who beats Mickey will break the 40s barrier if anybody beats him. It was a very impressive lap there. As I'll let you commentate through Vipermon's lap.
Yeah, so coming up to the last bit of the lap, this is very crucial to get a good exit out of to start the lap. Setting the lap off on a good tone, as we want to slot that car up on the first row at least to challenge Mickey. And he's got DRS now coming to turn 1. And he's now going across the line, starting his second lap of the qualifying session, Vipermon. And there's a bit of traffic up ahead, but they're about a corner in front, so it shouldn't bother him too much with the dirty air. And he'll be able to focus on his lap instead of dirty air. As this is the second DRS straight of the lap. Comes into turn 3, heavy braking, foot all the way down on the brake pedal. And he's rounding turn 4 now, almost at the end of sector 1. What sort of time is it going to be for the Williams driver? And he's gone 6/10 quicker than his previous lap. That's good enough for a purple sector 1. The championship leaders coming to the castle section. How good is it going to be through here? And he locked up a bit, or broken very heavily. Slowed him down quite a bit. I think he's lost some time compared to Mickey, who didn't break nearly as much through there. And some foot to the floor stuff through these two high speed corners. And now he's coming round turn 15 into the final braking zone of the lap. It's turn 16. And he goes a bit wide on the apex and a bit wide on the corner as well, but it's a purple sector 2 as well for Vipermon. And he negotiates the last couple of corners very nicely. Now he's just got to get to the line. With DRS enabled, what sort of lap time can he put together here? It's looking quite good, but it's not good enough for pole or even the front row. He's currently in 3rd place in the qualifying session.
Yeah, only a mere 20 milliseconds off Spark in P2, so that'll be a couple of drivers' goals just to get to that 41.6 area, but I think Vipermon and Melbourne Mac will be going for one more and try topple Rapid Mickey, as Melbourne Mac has just begun his lap in that Red Bull now. So as he enters turn 2, he gets a very clean run through it. He absolutely nails it, gets right up close to the walls. Mickey's retired. Maybe he thinks he can get pole. Just straight up from the garage, as down the long straight Melbourne Mac goes now into turn 3. Just nails the apex, nails the exit. He is not leaving any margin for error out there at all. It's through turn 4, once again, the exact same thing. He just doesn't want to give up that front row, but he's still 3/10 down in his sector 1. It looks like it was so much better, but apparently it's so much worse. But on such a long lap, you can make up 3/10, especially here at Baku, because pushing the track limits and pushing everything is just what you need to do around here, and you can gain time just by sending it that little bit more. As up the second part of the castle section, now back to the left if he gets a good exit here, because as I recall, he didn't get a great exit on his first lap through there, so he might gain a little bit of time. It's now flat out through this double left king, because there's a Mercedes stranded on the side of the track there. It's Sandy, so Mickey's teammate has retired on track, as Mickey retired in the garage, as Melbourne Mac taking a lot of curb there. I don't know if that'll lose or gain him time. I guess it kind of depends, but he's still 4/10 down on his time, and I don't think it's going to be an improvement. He's just negotiated the slaloms there pretty well, and he might just come in because I think he's pretty far down on his time. Yeah, it looks like he's pulling to the left to go into the pits.
Yeah, so we've got two drivers who still haven't set a lap time that are still in the session, Mr. Frosty and Dilly Boy. I wonder how long they're going to leave it.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Frosty has a collie ban.
Oh yes, he does. But I don't know about Dilly Boy and the McLaren.
Yeah,
3 minutes to go on the clock. He's leaving it quite late to do his first run.
Maybe it's the all-or-nothing strategy we might be seeing here as we'll go to the Alpine of Noah Fowler because he is looking to be on a lap right now, or maybe setting one up, so we'll watch.
Yeah, it looks like he's just warming up the tyres. Bit of swerving on into turn 16. But not Kise is coming into the pits. Thought they were on a flying lap. Looks like an in-lap. Maybe this is just an in-lap from Noah. And it looks like it. Well, it's gonna be... I think that was an out lap there. Maybe did an extra lap. Oh, he's gone wide.
Oh no, he's in the wall. Dilly Boy needs an invite. Could you message Melbourne Mac potentially?
Yeah.
As we'll go on board with Mr. Sparks for his flying lap then. As into turn 1 using all the curb on the entry, getting so close to the wall there. That was absolutely phenomenal. It's almost like Kimi Räikkönen at Monaco 2017. That's how close he got to the barrier there. He's going to give it no margin at all. I think he can challenge for pole as we watch along with Mr. Sparks. DRS open down the second straight. Now braking super late at the 100 meters, turning in. He misses the barrier by quite a margin, but then he made it up on the exit as he drops to gear 2 and negotiates the fourth corner very nicely, I must say, through this big windy snail section. He runs very wide and that'll lose him plenty of time. He was 2 tenths up, but I assume now he'll be almost like 2 tenths down. That's how wide he ran, but he was purple in sector 1, so braking very late on the first corner of sector 2 and into the castle section. He's going to have to absolutely send it. He goes pretty slow through there, I can't even lie, but then he uses a lot of the track on the wall for the second part of the castle, and now through this double apex section before he brakes for one of the trickiest corners on the racetrack. You've got to brake so late but not understeer out into the wall, as he does understeer into the wall, but he keeps it out. He's just on the limit there as rounding the final proper corner. He uses all the curb and gets a pretty decent exit as rounding the slaloms to the left, to the right, keeps it out of the wall both times, just using all of the track. And what's it going to be to the line, as there's a DNF in the castle section, it looks like, potentially. Yeah, I think the car got cleared up.
It was a retirement after some damage. Noah Fowler just went straight on at the castle section, couldn't make the corner, and Phoenix in the Williams crashed into him, so that's why Phoenix is without a front wing. And that was in the qualifying session.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
AlphaTauri whizzing past them. And that AlphaTauri is not Kise, so they won't be able to set a faster time because they've invalidated their lap. It's only going to be P3 at best for them.
Yeah, Mickey maybe coming back to take what's his. He hasn't done super well in these last couple of rounds, but he wants to go back to back, and obviously the reason he's only here in Div 2 instead of Div 1 is because he is trying to learn less assists, and I think we'll see that he gets faster and faster and starts challenging for wins more and more often as he gets better with less assists. But pole by 5 tenths today, so that'll keep him very happy for the main race in a couple of minutes.
Well, here comes Vipermon just past turn 15 using all of the track and into turn 16. They can smell the finish line here. And they've just got a couple of small little bends to negotiate as they go fastest in sector 2. And coming to the line now, it's just keeping the wheel straight and pressing the DRS button. What sort of lap time is it going to be? Is it good enough for pole? It is!
It is!
He grabs pole by 7/100ths of a second. Vipermon, the championship leader, gives himself a huge advantage.
Oh, well, I must say, if you couldn't tell, I did not expect that. I was under the impression Mickey had just gotten pole and was going to run away with it. But no, Vipermon said, no, you pulled the reverse card, and he wants the third in a row. He's got some absolute dedication in that Williams this season in Div 2. He wants to topple Mickey, and he definitely wants to keep his win streak alive. So it'll be impressive to see Mickey and him on very similar pace, separated by less than a tenth, how they battle over the course of the race.
Well, that's it for qualifying at Baku. And once again, biking on with a lovely lap at the death of the session to snatch pole by 700ths from Mickey, who looked very strong, retired from the session early, is getting a bit overconfident in themselves. But there you can see the top 6 separated by a second, so that should be quite a good battle. And the rest of the midfield up to 11 are separated by a second as well.
Yeah, so it should be a very, very tight fight. Similar-ish to Canada, but hopefully with some less DNFs. But obviously, it'll be tricky, especially the first couple of laps. I predict the first 3 laps might have a DNF or 2, but I guess we'll have to see. Baku has caused carnage in the past, so it'll be interesting to see how the racecraft shows in our drivers today.
Yeah, so they'll be loading in now and choosing their setups, and you'd expect the usual one-stop strategy at the moment, but some drivers could be banking on going their long stint first because of safety cars, or going their short stint first. Maybe pitting after one safety car, maybe on lap 1.
I think it'll be a medium to hard race, as you can make the hards last a very long time, as I did find out in Rush Division 3. You can go about nearly 20 laps on them from memory. So, if there's a safety car on about, lap 6? I think it's a 26 lap race. If there's a safety car on about lap 6, then you should be sorted to box the hards and go to the end. So, I think starting on the mediums is probably the play here.
Yeah, you would expect that, as that's what the predicted pit stop strategy says, mediums to hards. The pit window's lap 11 to 14, and Viperlon leads them away from the line to start the formation lap.
Yeah, obviously the whole grid will be weaving back and forth unless your name is Kimi Räikkönen, as you'll just keep going straight and keep your tyres nice and cold, but it'll be interesting to see how lap 1 goes. Mickey and Viperlon, I think, will be battling over the course of the entire race, but it will be fun to see if they have a little fight on lap 1 there, or if Viperlon continues to play the strategy that he has since round 1, and just play the virtual game of chess on the racetrack, and just play the patience game. Maybe let Mickey through and just feed off DRS, not use battery, and then attack that way, or if he just defends in a Sergio Perez-esque way and win the race that way.
And Frosty's been disqualified from the formation lap. Maybe a crash with Dilly Boy. So is Dilly Boy's teammate, PS Bomber.
Yeah.
So they'll be starting on cold tyres.
Interesting incident there, but I just want to go through the tyres. So, Milan and Dat Boy Connor on hards, and then Noah Fowler is on the soft compound tyres in P7, and then everybody else is on mediums. I think with those overcast conditions, a colder track and cold tyres, those hards probably aren't going to be the greatest choice for the opening stages of the race, and maybe after lap 6 they'll work.
Yeah, some very interesting stuff as Vipermon and Mickey are separated by quite a distance to the rest of the pack. You can see there, it's Mr. Sparks who's holding them up a ton, trying to make their tyres cool down.
So, yeah, I'm actually pretty sure it's against the rules to break that much of a gap. I'm fairly sure that you have to be within or just outside a car's width, so if somebody reports that, they could very well get a penalty.
Yeah, well, we'll see. As Vipermon and Mickey, the front row, are coming up to line up on the grid. They're driving past the 2 disqualified cars from the formation lap to see how they line up for the race. Taking it as slow as they can to try and get some time back. And Mr. Sparks is taking from their lineup.
They've both gotten a very, very, very good lineup there. So I think that's probably about a 0.4 meter lineup, if not less. So very good parking from the both of them.
Oh, and there's a Red Bull spun out in the background. That's Melbourne Mac Round.
Oh no.
So I wonder what happens. Is he going to get
Having to do a
reset?
3-point turn on the formation.
So they'll get some good temperatures into his tyres at least.
Yeah, but also some pretty bad tyre wear. As now Melbourne Mac gets disqualified from the formation lap, and we're all lined up. So we'll go to 5 red lights in a short moment. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's pedal to the metal in round 3 for ORL here in Azerbaijan. Who's going to get the lead into turn 1? Mickey's going to dive down the inside. They're 3 wide into turn 1, nearly 4 wide. That's Mickey spinning around at the back. Vipermon still side by side with Mr. Sparks. Melbourne back up into P4. F1 Twitch rear ends Vipermon into the wall. F1 Twitch was in P3, and that is absolute chaos ensuing at the back there. As, oh no, F1 Twitch just misjudged the brakes. He got a brilliant start off into P3, but it's all come crumbling apart for him as Mickey getting the god-awful start that he wouldn't want, no wing, and he's down in P17. Absolutely shocking lap 1 here, as there's just a couple mistakes causing some mega carnage as Melbourne Mac moves up into P2. There's cars stranded all over the track everywhere. This is absolutely insanity. It's not Kizzy and Milan are going at it, and oh no, they've made contact and they're both in the wall. The Williams now at the back there getting involved as Vipermon, he's dropped to P6. Oh no. Vipermon had spun around and now he's kind of stuck at the back there and they're going too wide into the castle section. This is never going to end well, and that's the Alfa Romeo hitting the wall and the Mercedes spun around, and now it is a car park here at lap 1. How is this not a safety car? I have no clue, but that was an absolute Tesco car park there on Black Friday. And now we're going to resume racing. Oh my god. What a lap one.
Very same thing happened on turn 2 as well. Oh, and it's PS Glory's out of the session, no front wing, and they thought they could take that corner flat. Is it going to be a safety car? It doesn't look like it. And Rapid Mickey unfortunately got caught up in 2 crashes in 2 corners. So that's why this at the back, but it fortunately looks like they're not damaged very badly. Yeah, the car looks fine. No front wing missing.
As now, Vipermon once again just having to fight his way through the grid. Oh my god, every time you stop talking,
That's annoying. Well, Melbourne Mac got a 2-second gap. Mr. Sparks in front, that's only opening up more.
Yeah, I think it'll be a race not to remember for a couple of drivers here already just by the end of lap 1 going into lap 2. Blackmore has to find his way fighting in through the pack much like he did in Canada, but we've seen he can do it once and he got pole, so he definitely has quite a lot of pace, but can he do it again, and can he catch Mr. Sparks? That is quite a big gap to get, so I think he might be relying on a safety car just to bring him that little bit closer again. So it should be an interesting little fight here, but we see a lot of drivers spread across the field. There's just a lot of drivers with no front wings, but we didn't get many DNFs, luckily, only one, so as long as if there's maybe a safety car or something that gets caused, the race should return back to normal, hopefully, and that could be actually pretty good for this race. But look at this big pack here. If you go back to P9 all the way to the back at P15, that is a whole train, so that will be a very good fight to watch.
Vipermon is sizing up a move on 4th place, Basil Mills. He's catching up with the assist of ERS in the slipstream, pulls out to the right hand side. He's got the outside line into turn 1, but he's ahead before turn 1. And it looks like he's going to get 4th place quite comfortably. It's Sandy is out of the session, and that was the fastest lap for him. And that is a safety car.
It's a virtual safety car. So
yeah, looks like just a VSC for now.
Yeah, sadly, I wish it was a full safety car because that'd bring the grid back together, and that would create a pretty good dynamic for this race. Obviously, Mickey having to fight his way back through, etc. But I think the most unlucky thing from that lap 1 was obviously the leaders going 4 wide into turn 1, but then F1 Twitch moved up to P3 and then just suddenly forgot how to brake, it seems, and just completely rear-ended Vipermon, and I don't think it was a good show of racecraft from him, and I think there will be a lot of Stewart report just from lap 1 alone, but yeah, I think Vipermon, Twitch showed some very poor racecraft on turn 2 there, and I think it will probably be reported.
Yeah, well, Mr. Frosty's doing some sketchy stuff under the VSC, braking quite a lot. He's brake checking Haroldinho here. Into the castle section.
Probably just Delta.
He's lost 3 seconds out to the car in front as Frosty. Well, it looks like that gap between Sparks and Melbourne Max just continued, and we're racing once again. And Vipermon's been overtaken off the restart by Faith Little Balls, who's on hard tyres, compared to Vipermon's soft, and Vipermon's rapidly catching up on the back of him with no use of ERS. And the Aston Martin isn't using any ERS either. Vipermon's going down the inside with DRS and gets the move done.
Yeah, impressive move there. Obviously, had the confidence to pull over and just close the gap there, so just demonstrating that he thinks he won't be rear-ended. He still has trust in the racecraft of these drivers even after lap number 1, and hopefully we can see more of that as Milan just dummies a move down the inside. It forces Vipermon wide, and now Milan had a little look at him as they're going to be fighting, much like Milan did with, I believe it was Mr. Firestrike last round. But
Haroldinho's been tapped on the back and he's round.
Oh no. Unfortunate there.
Mr. Frosty.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Haroldinho, Mr. Frosty causing more incidents, much like last round, but he'll move on with it. And Haroldinho, I actually did some practice with him earlier with some of the other Div 1 drivers and one other Div 2 driver, and he was pretty pacey, so maybe be able to make his way through. I guess we'll see. As I want to move back to this battle with Vipermon and Milan, as they are still quite close. It is the closest battle on track right now, so we'll definitely take viewing to it, as Milan will have a go while Vipermon tries to catch not Kizzy.
Well, Zonix is catching up to P9 F1 Twitch. Gap's fluctuating from about 2/10 to 5/10. He's dropped back in the past couple of corners, but was right up his gearbox before. Can he get the advantage into the straight? As both the drivers get DRS off the back of Mr. Frosty. Mr. Frosty going very slow through these final 2 corners. It's going to give a massive advantage to Zonix, who will get a much better exit, and they're going 3 wide almost. And F1 Twitch passes him, so does Zonix, looking for a double overtake. They're going 3 wide into turn 1. What's going to happen here? Zonix on the outside. He's got the advantage. They almost, and they do make contact. The Aston Martin's been spun round, and Zonix gets 2 places in 1 corner.
Yeah, on Twitch doing a lovely pirouette to catch himself there, but Mr. Frosty doing the smart thing and backing out and just letting the other 2 have their carnage. 3 wide would have never worked there, and now Mr. Frosty can just work on gaining on Zonix again. But Vipermon, meanwhile, did get overtaken by Milan. I was actually watching them go side by side through turn 1 before I moved to the drivers going 3 wide. But the Milan has got the position now. Vipermon is back on the chase there, and that'll be frustrating for him because he does want to get back to the podium places after lap 1. So he won't want to be mucking around fighting with Milan.
Yeah, his competition, Mickey, is down in 10th place, but he's made up 9 places since he got caught in those 2 collisions on the first lap. That's very good recovery drive so far, and he's catching up very quickly to the back of Mr. Frosty in 9th place. So I think he could get him within a lap. And then Zonix is very close in front of the Red Bull, so could be 2 quick positions for the Mercedes driver here.
Yeah, obviously he has the pace. We saw it in qualifying, so yeah, it
He goes
should be.
wide one. And he's got the move done once again into turn 1, but he's fighting back
Ooh!
his the Aston and forced him wide. They're going side by side now, and Vipermon just stays in front there. And
Yeah,
I think this battle's going to continue as Milan gets a little bit of oversteer out of there, and he's got DRS, but it's not going to be enough. The Williams will maintain P4 for now.
yeah.
He's gone straight on and into the wall.
He's
Into
done a
the
Yuki
wall, the
Tsunoda.
F1.
He's done a Yuki Tsunoda, and that is super unfortunate for him. And now he has to make it around the rest of the lap without binning it into the wall without a wing. And Chunk, may I please ask you to add Dilly Boy and invite him back as his game's crashed?
Alright, is he on PS4?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay, I'll see. But Mickey's catching up to the back of Zonix. Already got Frosty. He's looking to get another position right now.
Yeah, Mickey, as I said just a second ago, as he nearly gets a snap into the wall there coming into the castle section. He has the pace, and I think he'll make his way through like a razor blade, and he'll be trying at least to get back to P4 to fight the person he fought with for pole, Vipermon, and see if they can have a fight. That's what I wanted to see at the start, but then it ended up being a murder fest, so I guess we might see it later on in this race if there's a safety car. So I want to move down the field here to Haroldinho, getting very, very close to Cozzi, as they are about to have a titanic fight, the fight of the Ferraris. The Ferrari TP will not be loving to watch this, but he is watching the stream, MX is watching the stream, and he's going to have to witness this two drivers fight, and let's hope they don't crash, because that would be very unfortunate if they do, because they've had some pretty rough first couple of rounds, and they'll want to get points today, but right now, they are both out of the points anyways. Rapid Mickey moves up into P6, getting a double overtake, and Milan in P9 after his pit stop, as the Ferraris go side by side into turn 1. They nearly make contact. One of them nearly got squeezed into the wall. Haroldinho gets around the outside. They're still too wide into turn 2. Cozzi up the inside forces Haroldinho wide. Cozzi has also picked up the DRS for this next straight. That'll leave Haroldinho basically hopeless here on going for a move, as he doesn't quite have the straight line speed, as the Ferraris are both out of battery here. Oh, I know, it's only Cozzi. Cozzi is flashing and is using all of his battery to fight with his teammate. If I was in Cozzi's position, I'd let my teammate through because he's clearly faster, but not some great teamwork display here coming from Cozzi, and I think MX will be quite disappointed with it. But now I'll move around the grid, seeing if I can find another fight anywhere remotely close. We'll go to Mickey. He's now in P6. He's going to chase down Phoenix and then try to chase down his rival Vipermon, see if he can get that position and get those points. But I'm going to just have to move back to the Ferrari battle, as they are the closest battle on track, and you don't want to watch the leader lapping around by themselves. That's pretty boring, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, Cozzi just made a mistake into the castle section and almost brake-checked Haroldinho, who had to slow down a lot for him. Haroldinho lost a lot of time as a result of that. There's a yellow flag. It's an Alfa Romeo.
It's Aston Martin and Milan.
Oh,
no!
Yeah. Oh!
Oh, Alpine Noah nearly getting absolutely taken out, and Milan gets a 5-second with it that he will have to serve.
I think Milan's gotten one as well. Oh, sorry, not Milan. Noah has gotten one as well for that.
Looks like it. Milan just dangerously rejoined. He should have stayed there a little bit longer, but then he rejoined straight into the Alpine. But that means that they both have both have to serve a penalty, as we'll now go back to the Ferraris again, as they're fighting on track constantly, and this is going to end in heartbreak. I can guarantee you it's going to be Ricardo Verstappen 2018 vibes here at Azerbaijan into turn 1. Milan gets a 5-second as he's fed into the pit lane, so no longer does he just have to serve a 5-second, he now has another 5-second, so making it effectively useless to clear his penalty, as he'll just have the same as before.
Cozzi's making a number of mistakes through these corners, just like he did last lap. And They might make a few more into the castle section, which could solidify Haldino's lead in the battle and put an end to MX's anxiety.
As we actually do see Datboy Connor and XX Beast, so both the Alfa Romeos slowly gaining on these Ferraris too though. So we could see Datboy Connor then making the move on Cozzy, having a battle with Cozzy, and then going to move on past Haldinho as Cozzy taps the wall there. Let's hope he doesn't have damage for MX's sake. As now Datboy Connor is within DRS range of Cozzy, so this will be a fight to watch here on track as Cozzy has no battery.
Yeah, Ferrari definitely left out to dry by his teammate a bit. Man, he's catching up really rapidly, the Alfa Romeo. He's not using any ERS, interestingly, only DRS. Even with that though, he's looking to get him into turn 3. I think, yeah, now the ERS is getting deployed. And runs a bit wide, just causing that'll leave him really vulnerable, the Alfa Romeo, down this straight. And he's looking to go down the inside. And it'll be side by side. He moves over to cover him off. And Datboy Connor's got him through on the Ferrari.
Yeah, impressive moves there as now. Is that Mr. Firestrike? No. I'm trying to figure out who that is. I think it might be a visual bug on my screen, but I keep seeing like a Haas in the background of this fight. Oh no! Mickey spun around! Mickey spun into the wall, and I just got to quickly invite MX so he can invite someone to the lobby.
Mickey's been overtaken by Zonix, but Mickey, I think, will be able to get him down into turn 1. As he's sandwiched in between these two, F1 Twitch, who's actually fallen back a bit.
It's this yellow flag, it's a Haas going very, very, very slowly. It's Mr. Firestrike just through turn number 3. But Rapid Mickey just made a mistake there, but now he's flying back through. Even before turn 1, he's going to be nowhere close. And he's going to be able to close in and then act like he never spun. He's just got to catch Phoenix once more, which will just be frustrating for him.
On his side by side into the castle section, and there's a big crash. Mr. Firestrike's out of the session, and Milan's held up, and it's a full safety car here.
Oh, every driver on the mediums and even hards will be in. It's the only logical option is to come in, but Mickey will be frustrated with that one because it came out just mere moments ago. He could have pitted and gained a lot from it. But now every driver, I'd assume, is coming in as well. That Haas still isn't cleared off the track, and Mr. Sparks has just ploughed into him. He didn't get damaged, luckily, but that was nearly very unlucky for Mr. Sparks, as that was nearly unavoidable.
Yeah, I was watching that incident as it happened. The Aston Martin and the Haas were going side by side into the castle section. Never a good idea. And the Haas just tried to outbrake Milan, and it went straight into the wall.
Oh, Mr. Sparks went straight.
Oh, he has.
Mr. Sparks went straight, and that is, he's doing a 4-point turn. Clearly a traction control on as he can't flick spin it back around, and that's ruined his race completely. That brings Vipermon straight into this. He's P3. After they all pit, he'll still be P3, and he's right next to the lead. So Vipermon being the golden goose, much like his counterpart from Div 2 in Season 1, I'm a Nubatron. He's getting very much those vibes radiating off him right now. Just unlucky at the start, but then getting super lucky for the rest of it. And Vipermon will be delighted that his rival is basically out of it right now, as Sparks and Mickey will be fighting each other on that restart, as they are both P6 and P7, and that allows Vipermon to just chill out a little bit.
Well, is anyone going to stay out is the question. So far, that is no. But F1 Twitch is going to stay out for now, maybe waiting another lap to come in, or could be waiting on a second safety car. But they're going to inherit second place by not pitting. Haldino comes into the pits, and Connor's stayed out, so they'll be up the order as well.
Oh, Mickey actually dumped some people in the pit lane because he didn't get held up, and it's P4 and P5 for Vipermon and Mickey. So that could make this race very interesting, as the two people who fought for pole are now going to be fighting on track like we all wanted to see from lap 1. So the battle will now begin when the safety car comes in probably a lap or 2 time. But it'll be interesting to see if F1 can fight Mickey and still make his way through the field. I assume Melbourne Mac will run away a little bit, but then the 2 leaders with the pace that they have should catch up. It's just getting past F1 Twitch, I think, will be the hard part for these guys, because he'll be a bit of a mobile chicane.
Well, it looks like pretty much everyone's pitted except for F1 Twitch, Connor and Noah. But Noah and Connor both pitted earlier in the race. So just F1 Twitch taking a gamble of staying out, banking for a second safety car. Quite a bold move, but we'll see if it pays off. As we know, there's always incidents around Baku with the really narrow circuit that it is. And should just be one more 6-kilometer lap before we're racing again. We're just waiting on F1 Twitch's teammate Milan to catch up.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see the restart, obviously. And Twitch will have it all to do. He's on the medium, so just quickly check his tyre life. He's on 10 lap old run, so yeah, he hasn't pitted. So it'll just definitely be interesting to see what his pace is like compared to all of these other drivers who have pitted and have better pace than him. Will he be able to hold them up, or will he just, like, screw his strategy over?
Yeah, who is going to send it more into the turn 1 is going to be the question.
Twitch does come in.
Oh, they do. So I don't know why they stayed up for another lap. If they were going to come in this lap.
Yeah, he probably saw the flaws in his plan. There, it was a bit silly from him, but now he's all the way at the back, and will be feeling the effects of not coming in.
Oh, Viper 1 inherits the podium now up into 3rd place, and Mickey right behind. Who's going to break later into turn 1 out of these two? That'll be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, I think the situation is Viper 1 and Mickey both had, after such unfortunate events happening on lap 1, dropping back, and now they find themselves P3 and 4, really shows the caliber of these Div 2 drivers, or at least some of them, and how good they just can be. Obviously, these 2 drivers could be competing in Div 1 if they wanted to, but I don't think they'd be at the sharp end of Div 1, but they are some competitive Div 2 drivers, and they are looking to fight, and it's just the case of getting past Not Kizzy and Vipermon, and then they're fighting for the win. Vipermon going for the 3rd in a row, and Rapid Mickey trying to make up for his losses in the first 2 rounds to try to see if he can still continue to contend for his 2nd world title.
I think we'll be racing next lap, because the Aston Martin and Ferrari at the back, I think could manage to catch up. Actually, they're on some fast corners, so maybe not. But we'll see in a second as the Aston Martin hits the wall, trying to catch up. Luckily for them, it's no damage. We should get an indication from the FIA in just a moment about whether they're coming in.
And we're not, so it'll be next lap, thanks to these very, very far behind cars. So it'll be interesting to see next lap then. So what are we going to say for the next lap, Chunk? Because I have no clue.
Well, I think Mickey's going to have nothing to lose. That's my prediction. They're going to go all in here. Brake super late. Have a very good go. But actually, safety car's in.
So that leaves control to Melbourne Mac as he becomes the de facto safety car. If only we had a Red Bull safety car, but the safety car's still out on track.
Yeah, that's a bit... Michael Massey's made a very late decision with the safety car again. They've got him back from supercars. And he's done another very nice decision.
What is this game? Honestly. Now, Melbourne Mac is going to be the de facto safety car for an entire lap of Azerbaijan, but he will have a throttle limiter on him. As everyone Twitch comes into the chat and is saying, I think all the drivers are just slightly confused, as they will have a limiter on them. And, so I guess Melbourne Mac is just gonna have to deal with the limiter and try not to brake test the field for an entire half a lap.
Well, Bern Mylander's gonna have to put in the lap of his life if he doesn't want to get trampled by the pack here. Melbourne Max catching up to him. Is the old Austrian gonna get trampled by Max Verstappen's car?
As our programmer said, sorry guys, I'm driving the safety car. It honestly doesn't surprise me considering your Div 2 attempts in Zandvoort trying to straight line someone. You had to get assigned to safety car duty. But yeah, the safety car will be in this lap. As I think this is just laughable and a testament to how bad the F1 game is. But
yeah, maybe it wasn't a safety car. Maybe they were testing out the new 2023 Aston Martin on track. That's how much of a tracker it's going to be this year.
Yeah, maybe. As now Melbourne Mac is, and it has been for the whole lap, the de facto safety car. And then, and now he will control the pack, and it looks like he'll go soon. The safety car just has to remember to pull into the pit lane, but it's on the left side of the track this time, so I think it is pulling in. If it doesn't pull in this lap, we'll call it red flag.
It's going in. It's going in.
It is in, so Melbourne Mac now will
pull
the field away now.
And Mickey's getting a jump on Viper, and he's down the inside. Into turn 1, the Mercedes is ahead of the championship leader, and there's another fight. It's between the Haas and the Alfa Romeo for P5. Very close.
Alfa Romeo goes down the inside, and oh no, he's absolutely T-boned Phoenix. As now, it's 4 wide at the back. There's a lot of scraps going on right here at the back.
Huge battle for 6th here. And
the Alfa Romeo. Oh no!
That's a huge
They went 3 wide into turn 1, and it was, turn 2, and it was never gonna work. And the Alpha Tauri is being shoved in the wall.
Rossi's just ghosted through the Ferrari and going round the outside on the Alpha.
Oh no.
And it's a lovely move in the end. But Milan almost getting in on the action here. It's a nice battle for 11th. 4-way battle.
As we get a little tap from the rear there to tap Connor, and an absolute carnage ensued restart again, making the field spread out as there was once again another pile up at turn 2, but at least not the rest of the lap like last time. And now Rapid Mickey and Vipermon are on the charge, but Vipermon dropped back as he nearly got T-boned, as Mickey now moving up into P2, and now he just has Melbourne Mac to fight.
Yeah, well, very nice getaway from Mickey. Got the better of the reaction between those two and got through, and Milan is getting attacked from behind by the Ferrari, who's gotten through up into 12th now.
As Mickey has some absolutely phenomenal straight line speed as he's pulled away from Not Kizzy down the straight, even with the slipstream from Not Kizzy. So now Rapid Mickey will be using, I assume, not a lot of battery actually to catch Melbourne Mac, as he is within DRS range and he just will want to stay there.
F1 Twitch is going for a move on XX Beast in 7th place, but he got forced to really slam on those brakes. Going for a move into turn 2 and looking for a half-hearted move into turn 3, and it's not there. And the McLaren also going for a move on Mr. Frosty, but can't get it. Mr. Frosty staying ahead, and there's a 5-car train from 1st place to 14th, all very close and battling. but there is also a three-way battle for 7th place. Very exciting stuff to watch here. And
Yeah,
F1 Twitch will be looking to get him next lap.
Once again, we see the fight of the midfield being very, very exciting as ever. There's F1 Twitch right up the back of him. Will he go for a move into this corner? No, he knows better. But that'll just get Beast a little bit scared coming onto the straight and just letting him know almost as a statement F1 Twitch has made. I am here. As Beast runs wide, gets a little bit of oversteer. Cozzy makes up a position. That boy Connor had a little mistake at the back there, it looks like, and now F1 Twitch looking for a move down the straight using all of his battery, as Beast is already out of battery, as Mickey says the fastest lap, goes for a move into turn 1, gets the move done, so we'll quickly move to that, and he's got it done. It sucks that I missed that, but F1 Twitch now is going into turn 1, barreling around the outside, but no, Beast keeps it there. They make a little bit of contact, and now Haroldinho getting involved. They're too wide into turn 2. Who's going to break the latest? Beast does. He runs out a bit wide though. Haroldinho's gone for the switchback of dreams, and he does have DRS, and he's going to get the move done nearly here. Who's going to break the latest? Heading into turn 3. It's going to be Beast. And he keeps the position, nearly pushes Haroldinho into the wall, so maybe not the cleanest of driving, but it was fair game there, and no one will get penalised for that. It was just a little bit of a squeeze, and now Haroldinho has it all to do to catch again and fight again.
Yeah, so many moves happening in such a short space of time. But in the background of all that, Viperon's been slowly gaining on the AlphaTauri in front of him. And Zonix has been managing the gap very nicely to Viper. We're actually closing it a bit now, so we could see a potential move from him in the future. And Connor's just clipped the inside barrier of the castle section. It looks like they've just lost their right end plate, so that will be a big hindrance for the rest of the race.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo, but didn't look like he was on track for points anywhere, and that is what Beast is fighting for here in Div 2. I'm fairly sure it would be Alfa Romeo's first points in Division 2, and as their TP, that makes me have a little bit of a smile on my face, as I have to stop carrying. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, good for the Div 2 boys in the Constructors, and we'll just push them along as Haroldinho pulls to the left-hand side, and he's going to go down the inside into turn 1. Will Beast keep his foot in? No, he's too far back. Oh, but he does make a little dummy there, but it doesn't scare Haroldinho. Haroldinho did run a bit wide, but so did XX Beast as he broke a little bit too late. As of now, Haroldinho can stretch the gap, as I actually don't think Beast really ever had the pace. He was just holding up Haroldinho, and now that move is done, I don't think it'll be undone. As that boy Connor's in the pits.
Vipermon's closed that gap up to the AlphaTauri to under a second, and Zonix has managed to stick behind him, so very nice work from the Haas and the Williams. Potential double overtake on Not Kisei coming up.
Yeah, the fight for P3 is about to be on like Donkey Kong. And as we know, Vipermon has a tendency of making some very great battles happen around him. So it should be a very, very good watch. And if Zonix can get involved, even better.
Yeah, we're coming up to the DRS zone down the long straight, so that'll be where any kind of overtaking or battling is going to happen for a bit. But actually Vipermon's just dropped outside that 1 second zone, so they're not going to have any DRS for this lap, I don't think, but Zonix is going to on the just 6-7 tenths back now, and as they get to the DRS deployment zone, doesn't look like either of them are going to have it.
Oh, Vipermon
does. Zonix has it as well.
Well, Vipermon's now Vipermon close.
Yeah, well within that 1 second.
And now the DRS is open, and he's going to deploy a little bit of battery. Unlike Vipermon, does not have a lot of battery left in his tank, so maybe he's had to play a little bit more impatient just to keep his foot there, as maybe he doesn't have the exact pace we thought he showed in quali, maybe a full quali setup or some other factors coming into it, but Vipermon should hopefully be able to go for this move down the next DRS straight, so back through the main straight for P3 and at least claim a podium so he keeps a podium streak alive. And I don't think, with Rapid Mickey's pace right now, and Vipermon having not tons of pace, I think Rapid Mickey should be able to win this one and topple Vipermon's winning streak.
Yeah, it's Noah in the Alpine's just done a lovely move around the outside of his Alfa Romeo, who's racing, sweeping round the outside, moving to turn 1, which he's secured into turn 2. Now moves his car up into 13th place. Yeah,
so good move there from him. As I'm actually not looking at that fight for P3 right now, as Mr. Frosty is very, very close to XX Pieces. There's a little bit of a yellow flag. It is F1 Twitch there. He spun around. I mean, sorry, Milan. No. Yeah, it is F1 Twitch. Spun around there. As Phoenix is out, that could be a safety car. That is crucial.
Oh, that's
it's a virtual
crash.
Safety car.
Huge crash there. It looks like he lost the rear. Coming around turn 19.
Yeah, ugh, big crash. Somehow that's not a safety car, only a virtual one. So that doesn't help Vipermon as much. It would have been interesting to see a full safety car, but now that just neutralizes the race a little bit. And I guess it's almost more frustrating for Vipermon, as that means he has less time to make that move on Kizuna.
Yeah. Well, Vipermon has looked the faster of these 3 out of Zonix, Kisi, and him. So I expect he will get up into the podium positions. And there's quite a short gap to Melbourne Mac in front, and then Rapid Flappy. So 7 laps to go. Anything can still happen in the race. Yeah, obviously Baku especially. Anything can happen at Baku. Safety, maybe even another safety car after this VSC. Who knows? It's Baku for you. You never know what's going to quite happen, and you really never know who has the pace. It's just whoever's sending it most of the time. Yeah, the question here is how hard does he go? And he's taken very good advantage of the virtual safety car.
Zonix on a big jump.
Yeah, Zonix has gotten an even better start. And he's almost looking to send one. He's broken a lot later and getting a worse exit than the AlphaTauri in front. But what a restart from Zonix. It looked like Vipermon got a good one, but absolutely flew past Vipermon.
Yeah, so absolutely incredible restart from Zonix here, but he does lift off through that right slalom. That gives Vipermon a little bit of a run back into it there, as they've all been able to save a little bit of battery too, as now Vipermon with the DRS, and DRS will go for the move back on Zonix. It allows Kizzy to get a gap as they're too wide into turn 1. Who's going to break the latest? They both break it around about the same time. They're side by side through turn 1. This is a good little battle here into turn 2. They're still side by side, and Zonix just backs out of it. I think that's strategical for the DRS here, but they both got it, as now they're both going to be chasing again, but Zonix should go for a move into turn 3. He dummies it, but he's just more patient than that, and now Vipermon needs to be catching Kizzy once again, but he has Zonix knocking on the heels, making sure that he doesn't get complacent.
Yeah, Vipermon being put under an immense amount of pressure from the Haas behind him. He's going to really need to take advantage of this castle section where he might be able to open up a lead without DRS. And Zonix has gotten a 3-second penalty, so that will comfort Vipermon a bit. And surprisingly, not many people have got penalties, just Cozzy and Zonix that are still running in the race. Yeah, so I'm actually going to cast my eyes here to Milan versus Frosty. Only a 5/10 gap as they head into the castle section. Oh, Frosty whacks the wall in the castle section. I think he might have picked up some damage. Yeah, there's currently a battle up front as well.
No damage for Mr. Frosty. But now we'll go back to the fight for the lead. Melbourne Mac maybe showing some pace after that VSC restart, or maybe Mickey making some mistakes. I guess we'll see if it's pace or mistake very, very shortly, as Melbourne Mac now within that DRS range, and he's going to fight.
Vipermon's just gotten through in the AlphaTauri. Can he secure the place? Yes, he does into turn 1. but the Alpha Tower is not taking no for an answer, wants to fight back, and it's a full safety car.
Oh, that's brought this race straight back to life once again. Mr. Frosty makes a mistake. As where's he made that? It looks like just the... where, I can't even tell where that is on the track, but I guess we might...
It's on the same place as Phoenix.
And also just through the slalom, unfortunate catching at drivers, but this race is now a lot more interesting than it was just a mere couple of seconds ago, because this brings the fight for the lead 5 ways. Yes, Mickey, who has pace, Melbourne Mac, who has pace, Viper1 back in it for the win here, who also has pace. I assume people will be boxing for the soft compound tyres for the end. But then you also have not Kizzy, who also has pace, and then Viper1 might have 3 seconds, but who knows? It's Baku. Other people could be getting 3 seconds as we speak on that restart, and that would just bring this race completely to life. And this will be a good fight for the end.
Milan just pitting for a new front wing. I think they were involved in that crash with the Red Bull. I mean, they've actually put it onto the mediums. Maybe their softs were worn. But if they didn't, that's a huge blunder. For the possibility of them getting points. Currently in 11th, so they'll want to bring some points home for the Aston Martin team, who's currently only got 1 point this season. They're down in 8th place. But can Connor cling on to the Alfa Romeo's first point of the season?
Yeah, Mickey will be in, so will P2. And Vipermon doesn't look to be coming in, he wants track position.
Yeah, that's a very bold move to go for, but I think I would have done that if I was in Vipermon's position as well.
As, yeah, Mickey on the softs came with Melbourne Max, so I guess they do kind of have it all to do here though. Because they will have to overtake Zonix and Kizzy to get to Vipermon, so maybe Vipermon's relying on that little buffer with Kizzy and Zonix.
Yeah, the safety car restart will be crucial for the Williams, for the lead of the race.
The safety car may have just saved his streak of winning. I guess we'll have to see. You never know at Baku. There's still, like, in theory, time for one more virtual safety car after the restart, depending on when it comes in. I don't think there will be, but I guess anything happens at Baku. I guess we see that shades of 2017 Baku. A red flag and a lot of safety cars. And, yeah, I think it'll just be an interesting race as a whole to watch back, and also just these last couple laps. I can't wait to commentate it. It'll be beautiful to watch, and hopefully very entertaining with no incidents.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be another lap after this because the Alpine isn't going to catch up in time. He's kind of his own safety car, slowing a train behind him down.
Yeah, so maybe the Fernando Alonso strat's kicking in.
So he's going to move to Aston Martin then, by the looks of it. Yeah, a big train here. There's going to be another lap, most likely, for the rest of the pack. Or will Michael Massey give Bern Maylander another go in the car? He's pulled some weird stuff over the ORL's course. I remember a couple of weird things happening with the safety car, but that safety car restart early has got to be the weirdest.
Yeah, maybe. I have a theory, actually. I've just thought of a theory. What if it wasn't Bert Maylander? What if Michael Massey decided to be the safety car driver?
Yeah, I don't know what his motive would have been. Maybe to get some revenge on F1, hoping to maybe hurt some of the drivers. Yeah, but that was very confusing. As Joey Boy's at the back, he wants to catch up, and he should be able to over the course of this lap. But it's been a very entertaining race, and we've got 4 laps to go, 6 DNFs in the race so far, which means out of our 19 drivers who started, 13 are still with us in the race. And all eyes are going to be on Mickey for the restart. It's Vipermon's race to lose, and Mickey's definitely probably even ground with those softs compared to those 3 front runners with 12 lap old hards in front of him. It's going to be a very, very good finish to watch.
Yeah, so I think the main fight to watch is obviously that top 5.
Yeah, with Melbourne Mac behind Mickey on the softs as well, potential to do some good and follow the Mercedes through.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably see Rapid Mickey make his disposal of those second and third within 2 laps, and then have a fight for that final lap for the win. Which is actually, if it is in this lap, I think this DRS will be activated on the last lap, so that could actually be crucial if Rapid Mickey can get his way through those 2 drivers in front of him. Oh no, he's been rear-ended!
But luckily no damage.
Baku, the gift that keeps on giving. Melbourne Mac has hit the back of Rapid Mickey, completely destroyed his win chance, and that brings F1 Twitch into P5. What a shambles for Rapid Mickey, as that is so upsetting for him, as he's now down in P9 as the safety car's in this lap. So now we'll watch Vipermon become the de facto safety car, and hopefully the safety car actually comes in this time around and doesn't do another lap because he wants to. As Vipermon weaving left to right, and that makes his job even that much easier because Rapid Mickey was the fastest guy. Now he just has to worry about Melbourne Mac, because I don't think Kizzy will be too much of a threat, and Zonix has a 3 second. So now he's gonna just weave. Melbourne Mac picked up a 5 second for collision with Zonix, so that brings another driver out of it. It is just Kizzy and Vipermon. So Vipermon, I think, will retain his his win streak now. As he's going to bolt away here. He got a good restart. He's already 3 tenths to Kizzy. As they're 2 wide into turn 1. Melbourne Mac getting the move done on Zonix. They got the move done. There's an Aston Martin. Everyone's wide. That Ferrari nearly losing it at the back there. Nearly a big incident. But there hasn't been this time around. As there's a couple of people 2 wide into turn 2. No incidents so far. No incidents so far at all. And it's been an absolutely beautiful first little restart lap to watch here. As we see a couple of moves being made, maybe a bit of illegal weaving, but I'll move back to the leaders as not Kizzy is down in P3, and Melbourne Mac is now fighting Vipermon on those softs, but I don't think he'll get a 5 second gap, even if he tried, even if he gets this move as they're side by side. What's going to happen here? Oh, the move has been made. Melbourne Mac up into the lead, and now Vipermon left defenseless to Kizzy here for a second. Go fight in sector 2. Yeah, it's Mickey and Milan. And Cozzy, as there's an Alpine in the barrier coming up to the castle section, but I don't want to watch away from this fight for the lead here. As it's Kizzy versus F1 Twitch versus Vipermon, and this could be very action-packed, as it looks like there's a little bit of a pile-up at the castle section, actually a massive one.
Yeah, no one's able to get through. It's looking like it's clearing up a bit more. And North Fowler's retired, so there's 12 left, and Melbourne Mac's got 2 laps to gain another 3.5 seconds on Vipermon to get his main win this season, and he's round, and he's got full front wing damage, comes back on the track, almost hit someone. It's a miracle, but they're still going. Haroldinho now on the back of Zonix. We've got a penalty, and with those fresh, soft tyres, Haroldinho goes through on to 4th place.
And oh my... if I can't say this enough, Baku, the gift that keeps on giving us the Ferrari, it's the wall at the back there. That'll be some front wing damage.
No, it's no front wing damage, actually.
Very lucky for Haroldinho to get away with that. That was a big tap there.
He'll be looking to gain he wants to gain a second this lap, and then we'll have some contention for the lead. We're currently not getting any time as he gains a bit through the corner, and he'll want to replicate that every corner if he wants to get the win here.
And yeah, the fight for the win is on. The top 4 all fighting for the win. The other guys have penalties, but Kizzy putting the pressure on. But F1 Twitch may be looking for his first podium in ORL. If not, maybe his first win if he gets fortunate enough. But I think Haroldinho will have something to say about it. But I think the main fight is Kizzy and Vipermon here. as Haroldinho nearly went side by side through the castle section, but Vipermon just holding on to his lead here. He's going to have to dump the battery on these 2 straights to go. And we're coming on to the final couple of corners here. There's Yo flag in sector 2. Mickey has had his race ruined. He's down in P7. I think with penalties, he might get up to P5. But no, yeah, he will, because Melbourne Mac is out. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain fart there. But this is an exciting end to this race. It's a 5/10 gap. It's only a 1-second gap from Vipermon to Twitch. Now even less.
F1 Twitch is out! Well, he's not out, but his front wing's gone.
And F1 Twitch. F1 Twitch is in the wall through the slaloms. The gift that keeps on giving Baku. The race has fallen apart for F1 Twitch. DRS is unable for the final lap. 1 more straight to go. Can Kizzy get the move on Vipermon to topple the win streak? I don't think so. Vipermon's just got a mega exit. It's all or nothing here as Mickey sets the fastest lap of the race, but that's unimportant. Kizzy opens the DRS, but I think Vipermon has got the gap he requires, and he should be able to hold on for the rest of the race, but there is still the run to the finish line out of sector 3 with the DRS there too. So this will be a fight until the end as Haroldinho in P3 fighting for his life against Zonic. But Zonic does have a 3 second, so this will just be the fight for the top 2. And as I said before, all or nothing as Vipermon runs a little bit wide. So this will be interesting. It's Kizzy only 5/10 behind, and Vipermon has popped a little bit more battery. So it looks like this could be a very much blockbuster finish. Oh no! Vipermon nearly did a chance to clear. Oh my god. Absolute scenes here. As Kizzy's right there. Kizzy is right there. He might get him to the line here. This will be a blockbuster finish. Will Vipermon retain his win streak, or will Kizzy topple the champion?
Yeah, well, this is a dream result, nevertheless, for Bakumon. Both his championship rivals have DNF'd from the race, so he will be very happy about that. But Kizzy's dropped back very dramatically out of that last turn. Can he get him on the run to the line? It's only going to be half the DRS zone.
And it looks like here in Division 2, Vipermon's going to keep his win streak. It came down to the wire, but he's going to win in Azerbaijan for Div 2. And he's just kept his win streak alive, 6/10 and the skin of his teeth, because Kizzy made a mistake. And Haroldinho comes home in P3, Zonic P4, Beast in P5. So great result for the Alfa Romeo driver. And then Mickey shambles in his world right now. He probably would have won that, but he got rear-ended. Super unfortunate for him. I'll run through the rest of the grid order later. But what an action-packed last couple of laps. That safety car was what this race needed, but also what it didn't. And everything falls apart for Mickey. And now Vipermon has 3 in a row in ORL.
Yeah, right at the end there, F1 Twitch did a similar thing to what he did to lose his front wing, but actually retired on the last corner of the race. That is heartbreaking to see. Obviously, very good recovery drive from both, from Mickey and also Vipermon. Mickey was on for a winner there, but got spun out. That was absolutely crazy race in Baku.
And now myself and the rest of the stewards, as F1 Twitch said in chat, I am stupid, as I think we will see, as I open my phone, all the stewards will have clinical depression, because there will probably be about half a bajillion disputes, but I'll run you through your final order. So it's Vipermon, followed by Kizzy, and then Haroldinho, Zonix, Beast, Mickey in P6 after getting his race ruined, Milan in P7, Cozzy P8, Dilly Boy is in P9, and F1 Twitch with the DNF, and everyone else backwards with the DNF.
And Mickey's getting the fastest lap of the race, a 1:43. What a crazy end. Very nice race. Yeah,
absolutely. Biblical scenes there, but that is going to wrap up Div 2. I think my driver of the day is definitely Vipermon, as he kept it clean through the carnage. But that's all for Div 2. Div 1 is in about an hour and 10 minutes, so Melbourne Mac will see you in the comms box there, but for now, goodbye.